Why are you going live? Cracking me up with all this relay cat, man. They be cracking me up with this relay. They want these relays to be so like.
But did you see the post the guy made about the kid didn't get recruited until he ran the relay?
That's what I'm talking about. I don't care about these relays, man. They kill him with this. Like anybody who knows things, know good and well. Ain't nobody. Oh, relays are for coaches' egos. That's all they for. They strictly for
Kid,
coaches' egos.
kid was a 4-star football player talking about he just got recruited.
Ah!
Listen, if you good at a relay, that means you're good at your open.
Yeah.
It's simple, bro.
Yeah.
You're not magically running a 10-second split on 100 and then you running 11 in the open. Nah, it don't work like that, buddy.
Like, I don't know. I've never seen it before. I've never talked to any college coaches say that they've done that before. It's like first thing when like, what would you run by yourself?
Of
Yeah.
course.
Like,
Listen, relays are cool. Don't get me wrong. They score points.
I ran them.
They fun to watch, but ain't nobody recruiting you based off what you do on a relay. They want to see that open because that's what matters. The rest of the relay team not coming to college with you.
Nope.
you coming by yourself.
Nope.
I'm not recruiting all 4 of them, and if I am, they all come cool. But I'm just looking at 1 or 2 of y'all. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't got nobody call for nobody saying, "Hey, you want to come to this 4x?" I saw you in that 4x4 the other day. You want to come to my school? Ain't nobody hit me with no calls like that. Quit playing.
Man, nobody listen. It's cool. Like I say, it's fun to watch.
I love running it.
Especially the 4x4. That's the last event. Most people don't even watch that.
Yeah.
It's fun. I love watching a 4x4, but by the time they run a 4x4, the lights off. It's fun to watch. But yeah, nah, they definitely checking you what you run on your open.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Anyways.
But so what y'all got planned for the weekend, man? Any meets?
No, man, it's our last break before we don't have a break until I think we'll start sports, like competitive sports again with like track and baseball. We start next Tuesday.
I got you.
And we don't stop until I think our first break is we don't have any breaks. We don't have any breaks until July 20 something. Like every booked from here on out.
I got you.
Last weekend we got free.
Yeah, we Vanna don't have no more meets to the end of April. But Sam they on spring break this week, so we're chilling this week. Sam got baseball from next week all the way to I think the beginning of May. And then he'll be done.
See, we go all the way through June with baseball.
Yeah. But he just play with the school. He might do something in the summer.
See, we don't have an option. So y'all doing better than us.
Yeah, he go to private school though. The public schools down here don't have, and like the charter schools don't have leagues. The private schools have it. So yeah, so if he was at like at the school like by our house, he wouldn't be playing. He don't have to do like reg league, or he had to play travel ball like perfect game or something like that. Yeah. But yeah, the school had a league, so that worked out perfect. They play like 16 games, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's like they play from the beginning of February, like I said, all the way to May. So you get a good vibe, good work. Like they play against some teams cheat, like it's middle school, but some teams slide their high schoolers in there too. But it is what it is. You know how it go.
Yeah.
But we got some good topics tonight, man. The relay one, we actually go come back and touch on that one. But the biggest thing right now that everybody is kind of talking about is the high school associations in the different states and how they're handicapping the top athletes from competing and from exposure as well. Which I didn't really even know that was a thing. I thought you can pretty much do what you want to do. As long as you get your meets in for your school, because I know here in Florida, I think you got to do 5 meets able to qualify for postseason. But I didn't know they had like restrictions of you can't do indoor once outdoor starts. I didn't know none of that stuff because I never coached high school. I trained high schoolers, but I never coached high school.
Yeah.
So how was it in Kansas? I know Florida's a little bit more lenient than some of the places.
I mean, it's bottom line. We got strict guidelines. Like once the Thursday you practice, you can't do anything that's not sanctioned by the school from the first day of practice to the last meet that you guys run. That's
Right.
so yeah, and so you can't do anything. If you do, you risk being suspended and losing your eligibility. And then you have to like go before the board and all that stuff to get reinstated. It's dumb. My opinion's dumb, but I understand it. Don't get me wrong. Just because I think it's dumb doesn't mean I don't understand why it's in place. But it's a little dated.
Yeah, I was about to say that prehistoric.
Because the difference is this: like kids change, they change the bodies, training, education, it all changes. And so when that changes, the rules have to change to keep up to date with like the technology that people are doing, take care of themselves and stuff like that. But like I think the main thing that brought this all up was the area Pierce, deciding to leave high school so she can compete in some of these other meets that do happen during her high school season.
Yeah.
I don't, teach its own. I can only tell you how it affects me currently. Right now, it doesn't affect me currently, so I don't know what I will feel like in 3 years.
Once you get in that situation, I got you. But for y'all, right? You said for middle school, he can't do no like outside meets during middle school.
Can't, or he loses eligibility even in middle school from 7th grade, actually sixth grade all the way through high school. You cannot do any meets during their season. And so that's why, that's how it kind of works out good with us, because we don't ever start until after our spring break, which is March anyway. So we
we can get some stuff in.
We get an indoor season, but like I think March 18th is like the latest that we can be like free from the rules. But then the thing is like our season kind of bleeds into outdoor, especially if you're going to like the championships. So you lose 2 weeks if you qualify for the championship, even though the regular meets are over 2 weeks before. If you're going to the championship, you lose 2 weeks, and so people are still going to people like where that chops into like us prepping for outdoor season, because like this year track ends May 8th for middle school.
Yeah.
Our districts are June 4th.
Okay.
So, but everybody else is getting meets in. If you make it the challenge championships, you're kind of punished or whatever. Because the thing about our middle school, we don't carry the same events as AAU or USATF does.
I got you.
We don't have javelin. We don't have triple jump. We don't have the proper hurdles. The hurdles heights and distances are different, than what we compete at. So you're just
so that's tricky.
Yeah, it's a little weird. So no pole vault, nothing like that. So it's different.
Yeah, it happens, man. I know in Florida you can do like middle school. If you do middle school track here, you can still compete in the outside meets. High school, you can still compete in the outside meets. Like we had a meet this weekend with the IMG. It was some high schoolers there that were throwing. We had the Speed Capital meet we were at down in Palm Beach. It was some high schoolers there throwing too. You just got to get in like the 5 sanctioned meets. I'm not sure how it works though. I have to do, like you say, I'm in the same boat as you. I got to do some research when it comes to what you can do and what you can't do. But it's funny because I used to always wonder, like I'll be watching these high school meets. I'm like, why are these kids running for their club team in their high school? But now it makes sense. You got to go unattached. But yeah, it sucks for that one kid. It was a kid over in Mississippi, I think in Tupelo, Mississippi, or something like that. He got suspended for the whole year, freshman, and he bad, man. He won New Balance. He won, I think he did Nike or Adidas or something, and he got suspended because he did the New Balance. So I guess you had to some states you got to check in, or get, like you say, or get that exception
get a waiver
before you compete.
Yeah, and that's and I don't understand it because like here you go, it's when we're already in a situation where we're trying to get youth athletes to show up, and now you're just creating another barrier. Like that sounds like a headache. Well, if I'm really good at something, now I don't want to go do this. Now you have two instances within a couple weeks of each other. Last year we had a kid, or 2 years ago we had a kid get suspended for running a 5K. Yeah, that happened here. We had a kid get suspended for running a 5K.
Yeah, and see what they don't realize now, man, like you said, it's dated, right? So back in, 10, 15, 20 years ago, whenever the rules were made, you didn't really have kids traveling to all these different meets like they're doing now. The shoe meets weren't as popular. The kids didn't have NIL deals or NIL aspirations where you can make money in high school. You know what I'm saying? Now, a parent has access to a college coach. It used to be back then, the high school coach was all in all. He got the offer letters, he got the phone calls. If he ain't like you, he might throw some of your letters away. He might not even let you know a particular school is calling or interested in you. Those days are over now. You got social media. The college coach can go directly to the kid or to the kid's family. I don't even got to go through the high school coach. So now you have kids who are doing I'm going to just go AAU route, or I'm going to just go USA route, or I'm going to just, like you say, I'm not even going to run for the school. I just go to the shoe meets. The recruiter's going to be at the shoe meets anyway. The college coach is going to be at the shoe meets anyway. They'll be able to see me. I know Athene Moore did that a while ago. But I think that's going to be more commonplace where kids are, they're going to go to school, whatever. But I think they're going to be going unattached a lot more and bypassing the high school experience altogether, which sucks for the school and for the high school as well.
Yeah, because that's one of the things. Like you got to learn how to partner, with your athletes. Because like the thing that they're missing out, like you have an all-star, a freshman who's running under U20 meets. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
that's crazy. That's bringing notoriety to your school. That's bringing to your state. Just people by nature, what they see something, they want to mimic it.
Yeah,
I can do that. That's how you grow things. It's like, look at, people don't like this, but I'm gonna use Taylor Swift as an example. Think of what the NFL did with Taylor Swift. They got a whole new audience. Because
brought a lot of eyes to the sport.
It's somebody I can relate to. I'm gonna go this. And now those parents who may have been like, maybe my kid's not gonna run football or do football. Now you're gonna see an uptick in like kids like, oh, Taylor thinks it's cool. Regardless of how people think that's stupid or not, but that's his human thinking though. That's the thing.
Yeah. But it goes like this. Most colleges, right? Most kids go to a college because of the sports program, even if you don't play sports. I went to Florida State because of the football team. I didn't play football at Florida State, but I went because I love the football team. You know what I'm saying? Kids go to Michigan, Ohio State, Texas. You know what I'm saying? Texas, and then whatever. You going because of the sports program and the history that the sports program have. So you're right. You got a kid dominating in your high school, winning state championships, breaking national records. That's going to bring notoriety to your school. That's going to bring notoriety to your school district. You know what I'm saying? But
to your state. And that drives up like dollars for like go back into the system. Like everybody like the city meet when the championships she's at, them things are jam packed because they want to see this girl run. They want to go see her run, so they're gonna show up for that. But but when you don't, like you said, now you lost that money now. Like that's like I don't get it. I don't get it. Dollars don't make sense to me. I don't know.
I know here in Florida, man, like people are stubborn. Like the people that be on the board, you have rules and like you go and you make suggestions, or you go and you say, look, here's a change that could possibly be made to make things better for the athlete as well as the school or the association. But they don't be wanting to hear that because they stuck in their ways kind of. And it's going to take kids opting out of a whole high school season and, forfeiting that experience because it comes down to, is the high school state championship worth me missing out on all this extra exposure? And sometimes the case is not worth it. You know what I'm saying? But especially if you live in a small town where you really don't have a lot of exposure, like I got to do all this hard lead work of recruiting and making videos on Instagram and doing all this stuff and sending emails, or I can just go to a Nike meet and run in front of, 10, 15 coaches. Now, boom, they know who I am. I ain't have to do nothing but just go out there and compete. It's like the girl we interviewed from California, the multi. Boom, she go out there, compete at a meet. Texas is there. Now look, the rest is history. She on her way to Texas.
Yeah, had nothing to do with anything with the school or anything. It's just that she was at the right place and she did her thing, and it wasn't like, oh, the coach had gatekeeping. The coach, the Texas, they reached out to her directly, like they
on her social media.
Nobody, you get bought like this old thing. Think you a gatekeeper? That don't work anymore because like that's old, and the technology. The only time they reach out to your coaches now is like just looking for how's the attitude? How's that family? Yeah. That's what they talk to coaches about. The times is there now because remember back in the day. We had all this electronic stuff, he was like, I heard about this kid or whatever. I got to go out to him. Now it's like it's uploaded. And it's like
you had to actually get on the plane or drive and get on the bus and go see a kid physically. You don't got to do that no more.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? Kid run a time gets posted. Somebody send you the video, you can watch it like, okay, it's legit. Those days are, and people got to realize that. But I'm telling you, it's going to take, like anything else, it takes people, standing up for what they believe in and making a change. And, I'm pretty sure Thing Mu heard some whispers when she did it. She didn't run high school at all. She just ran AAU. And look, when the Texas A&M won an Olympic gold medal, she's doing pretty good for herself. One of the top runners in the country, in the world. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So,
and I look at some of these girls who are like having hit high school, like that class of 13-year-old girls. Who's that? James, Kent, those 13-year-old girls that getting ready to in high school.
Yeah.
It's like some of them are on like some high trajectories, and it's like, and then you gotta get that point where you gotta make a decision. The kids shouldn't have to make a decision.
It's
the same view I have about multi-sport athletes. Like we got an email, not an email, but we got an update saying like, so Aubrey plays on an elite volleyball team.
I got you.
They sent out an update email saying that, hey, our elite program is mainly used for kids this is their only sport. And then, our level 2 team, that's our kids who are multi-sport athletes. I'm like, you're an idiot. Because like you legitimately have a rock star at volleyball, and you're putting this message out like, hey, if you can't only focus on this ain't for you.
That's crazy because they're only 10 years old. Like, why would you pigeonhole a kid at 10 years old and make them focus on one thing? Like, that makes no sense. Yeah. I always, when I have parents that tell me that, like, my kid is only doing this, and the kid is like, under 12, I'm like, why are you handicapping the kid? They can learn so much more doing other sports and still be dominant in the other sport that they're doing. What's going on, Ernest? Ernest is another one. I think you said you got to get a waiver. Your daughter goes out of state, or when she competes at some of these other meets, maybe go unattached. It's I don't know, man. It's just like, I get it. You got to have some kind of structure. You got to have some kind of system in place because people will, they'll take advantage of it because it's human nature.
Yep.
But you need to be realistic, and you need to look back at whatever system you have and see, is it receptive with the landscape that we have today of youth track and field at the high school level, even at the middle school level? These kids are doing shoe meets now, 11, 12 years old, man.
Yeah.
These kids are traveling, man. These kids are going all across the country competing. It's not like it was back when we was running. You stay home you might go to JOs. That's the only time you travel. You know what I'm saying? These kids travel year round now, man.
I was from a poor dirt town, and literally I knew nothing about AAU track and field, USATF track and field until I was a grown man and had kids. That was the first time I ever heard, like, what was this?
Yeah.
Like, there's not, like our news came from a newspaper. We ain't had no internet where I was at. None of that stuff.
I played baseball and I hurt my shoulder, and that's how I actually got into track, throwing javelin, like part of the rehab. And I think I was 16. But they had Junior Olympics in Buffalo. I made it up there, which I don't know why I was in Buffalo. No knock against nobody in here. They from Buffalo, but there was absolutely nothing to do in Buffalo, like nothing. Like, I don't know. We did go to Niagara Falls by 8 times. That's the only thing you can do in Buffalo. Um, but yeah, but before then, I didn't know nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? Like these kids are doing everything now, man. So you don't want to handicap them. I know when we get there, at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for your kid.
Yeah, I mean, I'll
You
be.
know?
I'll throw like just a scenario out here. Okay, you get up here, and your baby's a freshman, and she's killing it.
Mm-hmm.
But and then you also look over and say, "Dang, she can actually compete with some of like these big dogs, and all the big dogs is gonna be here." But she ain't got no competition at the school. She's gonna run through them. That's a
Yeah.
tough decision to make. There's some big time exposure over here. What did Ernest say? Yeah, so we're heading to California next week, and we had to fill out a waiver to get approval to compete. Yeah, so yeah, that's silly.
That makes no sense, man. Like it's not like you asking the school to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? You paying for it yourself. Only thing you need is to let my kid go and compete. I don't need nothing from the school. Maybe you give me a uniform and we'll compete under the school's banner, whatever. But
Yeah, and it's not like she's missing any meets for it that I'm aware of because it's a weekend deal. I'm assuming, so she's not missing any meets. So what's the problem here? 'Cause
I don't know. I don't know. But they definitely got to get it fixed. They got to get it fixed because I'm telling you, man, there's going to be a lot of kids that they're going to start taking that shoe route, that shoe meet route, and they're going to start skipping these high school seasons. And you're going to see a lot of these places where the top athletes aren't showing up, and it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt the sport, of high school. It ain't going to hurt the sport overall because the kids will still be competing. They'll just be more, at the same venues all the time. The New Balances, the Adidas, the Nikes, or whatever. Shoot, some of these kids even running like pro meets. I saw Skylar ran a pro meet.
Yeah.
And she actually won sophomore. Crazy. I think she ran 52 as a sophomore. That's crazy.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like here you are. I mean, you think about look at with the NIL deal, the deal with like not it's not even across the board. They got some work to do with that. I understand that, but you think about it, things was changing, and it was like either you get on board or you're gonna get left behind. Is the bottom?
Left behind.
That's how it works. You got to adapt or you get left behind. It's bottom line. The same thing like you said with high school. It's like you gotta adapt, or you're gonna be like you like that notoriety and stuff to your school. You like that? More and more of these kids with social media, how they perform, they're more loyal to themselves now. They be like, you know what? Forget the school ain't about me. I'm about myself. And that's kind of how I roll in my household. I tell my kids, I was like, with work and stuff, especially at the pandemic, you learn that, hey, you gotta be loyal to yourself first.
Yourself first. That's right.
Your family, because no one's gonna look out to you more than you and your family. And I was like, that's why I tell people, I say, hey, keep your resume updated. keep grinding, because
you ain't lying. But listen, them days are over, man, where like what you're loyal to your team, your school. Like when we were growing up, you played for everybody knew, okay, when I get to high school, I'm playing for this school because it's in my neighborhood. You didn't go to the school across the, the other neighborhood. That was like you a traitor, but you couldn't come back, walk the streets with their jersey on. You gonna get beat up. That's just how it was back then. You know what I'm saying? Now these kids don't care. These kids will play for a different high school every single year. They ain't like you say, ain't no more loyalty to the uniform. These kids only care about themselves. And it's gonna trickle over. I know it's different like that in football, baseball, and basketball. It's about to be like that in track. And you can't really fault the kid at the end of the day if it's gonna benefit the kid more so for them to take that route where they just be unattached and just skip high school. Hey, at the end of the day, the goal is to get signed. You get signed, you get your college, you know what I'm saying? You get your national letter of intent signed, and you get to the school that you want to get to. At the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Because at the end of the day, like no one's putting these bills. No one's putting a college bill. The high school ain't putting that college bill.
The high school show not putting that bill. The association not putting that bill.
And people forget about, in a lot of the communities, such communities I grew up in, ain't no extra money just laying around that you can afford to pass up. I can't speak to what these other kids are going through. I don't know their situation. But back in the day, in my situation, if that was the only way I could get away to pay for my school, I'm out.
Out, yeah, you go. So this leads us to our second one, which, like I told you, pretty much about the relays. What are your thoughts about kids linking up to create these super teams?
I love it.
In track.
I love it. I think it's the greatest thing ever. I think we should see more of it. I think there should be several super teams put together and let them battle it out. I love that.
Listen, I don't know how it is in Kansas, but in Miami, they've been doing it in football for a long time, bro. Even little league football, they got doggone. There's a group I follow down here, man. They got a transfer portal for the babies. 6 years. Funniest thing I ever seen, dog. 6U transfer portal, 7U, 8U transfer portal, and they got little flyers made. They got signing days, bro. It's crazy. But they stacking these teams. Like, they got all the best 8-year-olds in Miami on one team. What do you expect is gonna happen when they go to the game? Like, what development are they gonna get if you got all the best 8-year-old kids on one team? But it is what it is. But I'm all for it in track, man. You put all these kids together on one relay, like the Mount Verdes, and like people don't like it. They're like, why are they competing against the other schools, the IMGs and all that? You can do it at your school now too. You know what I'm saying? You just got to get on your recruiting grind.
And drop them egos and link up. I'm telling you, like we don't remember back in my day, we had those rivalries. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm in a small town. Sometimes you gotta drive an hour and a half to get to a track meet. But you ready to bust some heads. But after the head busting is done, you're like, hey, we'd be a little bit stronger if we had such and such over here. We was talking about it back then. It's just that now they're able to do that sort of thing. So, like I said, we talked about it as kids back in the day. I was like, shoot, I know we'd be like if we had him on our 4x4. We gotta get real. Jerome holding us back. I like the thing because the thing is people like, oh, it's not just like those 4 kids are just like the fastest 4 in the nation. There's other kids that you can link up with and for their money. That's just the thing about it is it's like they just got it. Don't be haters. They just thought of it and they were able to organize and pass out egos to make something special happen.
Yeah,
I like it.
They did. I remember that's how everybody was mad at LeBron when he came down to the Heat. It is what it is, man. He did it first. You just mad you didn't do it first. That's all.
Yeah, it's one of the things. It's like and that goes back to one of our other conversations about us wanting to be the best. Like that's what we were used to be good at. We used to be good at bragging about being the best and being cocky and all that stuff. And I don't think cocky is a bad thing. I love it. Like I shared your video that you sent me about about Anthony Edwards.
I love it, man. A1 from day one.
A1 from day one. I love when kids are being confident because right now the thing I see a lot in middle school right now is a lot of kids they hold back a lot because they're afraid to be good because they don't want they don't
want to outshine their friends or overshadow them. Yep.
And that culture has been so much is like, oh, they've twisted what is it, bragging and cocky. They've completely twisted to make it see so negative that they think their abilities of being good is a bad thing. And so I literally watch it. I'm like, no, you got more in that than you giving out. But they want to hurt nobody's feelings or make them feel bad. And so we got to flip that. So
you can be cocky and confident and not be disrespectful.
Yeah.
Like that's the part that people don't understand. And that word humble, like I hate that word.
Yeah.
You got to be humble. Bro. You can be cocky and confident and be respectful. You don't got to be humble. God didn't create you to be humble if he gave you that ability. He gave you that ability for a reason. Like I love Anthony Davis. When he dunk on you, he gonna let you know I just dunked on you. You don't want to get dunked on, block it. But if you can't block it, when I come down and that ball get through that basket, I'm gonna let you know about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What great athlete do you know that's actually humble? What great athlete do you know is actually humble?
But you need that, man. Like that's what brings it out of you. You get what I'm saying? Like if you walking around like, you're not gonna perform your best. You walk around with your chin up, ready to go. When Jordan walked on the court, when Kobe walked on the court, you know what I'm saying? When Deion Sanders got on that field, they had that. And what it also makes too is it makes your opponents actually shrink down. Cause they be like, oh snap, I gotta go against them today. Yes, you do. You gotta go against me. And I'm coming every single rep, every single round. I'm here and I'm ready to go. You know what I'm saying?
You think about the media that we used to have back then. You think about the commercials and stuff. I don't know if you remember those. I think it's FedEx commercials. Talking about how fast FedEx was, and then you had like Gary Payton, was it Donovan Bailey, maybe, or Michael Johnson, whatever. They had all these fast people all in this thing talking about, "Oh, I'm fast," and like being just showing like confidence in their abilities. Like we don't really see that.
Yeah, like even remember the Michael Jordan commercial? I think it was with Magic where they were shooting shots. You know, they would shoot. I think they were playing for like a Big Mac or something, and they just started shooting in the gym. They was outside the gym. You know what I'm saying? Just stuff like that, man. Just like you said, promoting your ability. It's nothing wrong with being gifted. It's just like in school. If you smart, you smart. Don't hold back.
Yeah, I see that a lot too. People being dumb intentionally, you know, because they want to fit in. And speaking of that, so before we move on to the next topic, like legit, my son told me today, he was like, hey, he said with a smile, because I preach to my kids all the time, like, hey, I was like, go out there and you work hard and you the best one out there. When you're at middle school, you're the best one out there. That's how I talk to them. I talk to them like they're a wide receiver. I call it a wide receiver mentality. You're the greatest wide receiver of all time. That's how you approach it. I got that from, what's that movie? It's Any Given Sunday. Bill Bellamy. He's in the mirror.
I got you.
And that's how he hyped himself up before games. He's like, I am the greatest wide receiver ever. No, actually, he said you. He's looking at himself in the mirror.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Wide receiver ever. And that's how I tell my kids to approach game days when softball, volleyball, baseball, and whatever. You tell yourself, so you believe it, so your body believes that you are the best one going out there. But I had a kid today tell my son came and told me, and I liked his response. The kid was making fun of his warm-up routine for high jump. And he was like, he called him trash. I was like, what did you think? He said, I laughed and I ignored him because he can't get with me. And I was like, that's all I needed to know.
Man, tell Cork you got to call him a random. Say, man, you a random. You can't hang with me, man.
I got to throw that random. But I like that he didn't engage with them. He said he got to see me on Tuesday or Thursday. He said he got to see me on Thursday. I said that's all I'm asking. Show him on Thursday. Let him run his mouth now, and then you show him on Thursday.
And tell him right when you jump past him, walk by him and just look at him and say, you not jumping no more? You done already? Thought you said something. Your day ended early, my boy. But yeah, that's missing, man. Like, you know, like I tell Vanna sometimes, even we had a conversation with Janiyah too on Saturday. I was telling them, man, don't down yourself, you know, to make everybody else feel better. No, go out there and do what you do. If you throwing 150 feet, throw 150 feet. Don't care if the person behind you only throwing 100 a day. That's not your fault. You go do what you got to do. When Usain Bolt stepped on that track, he didn't care that you was running 10 seconds. I'm running 9.58.
Yeah.
Somebody said every athlete has an edge about them. It's different between having a competitive edge and being humble. Whatever sport you're doing, you have to have that inner dog in you. And that's right. And tell yourself that you're the best one in here. If not, prove me wrong. I love it. I love that mindset 100%. And that's what I try to teach my kids, man. Like, you know, be respectful. You don't got to go out there and talk and brag and open your mouth and run your mouth. Let your performance speak for itself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I agree. That's why I wanted to see how he responds. If he's actually listening while I'm telling him. He said he laughed. He's like, okay. And then he came to me. I said, what'd you say? He said, I said, no, I just laughed. I was like, but he got to see me on Thursday. I love that. Now he's hungry. Like, you can't teach that. You can only hope that he's listening. But he was like, he got to see me on Thursday.
Nah, you can't coach that. That's got to be here and that's got to be here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But like Antonio said, he right. You got to have that inner dog in you. And sometimes that competition will bring it out you. Like that's how you know. That's how you know if your athlete got that dog in them. When they're in the middle of adversity and they respond, you're like, okay, they ready. They ready. I'll never forget when Vanna, she got that 4th place ribbon and she balled it up and she was like, I'm never getting this again. I said, okay, you ready? Because if you'd have gotten in the car happy, that's cool. I wouldn't have been mad. She was 6 years old. But when she balled it up and threw it down and said, I don't want this, I'm not taking this home. I say, yeah. Now we can rock. Now I'm gonna start training you for real. Because we wasn't really training then. You know, she was only 6. I said, okay, now we can go. But it take that sometime. You know, it take you not doing your best or somebody knocking you upside the head once or twice for that dog to come about you. So Quincy had a good topic this week. Had a good motion on it. So where do you focus your training year, like during the year? Do you focus on the strengths of the athlete or do you focus on the weakness of the athlete?
Like I said, I'm more concerned about, I focus on the weaknesses obviously because that's everything, but I'm more of a balance guy. I want to bring balance, to everything because like especially on the youth level. When I say youth, I'm thinking 14 and under. That's why that's what I specialize in. And my goal is to make sure they have a fundamental knowledge of what they're doing and like building blocks to making sure we're securing technical knowledge. So when I pass you off your freshman year, like you got the tools when you know that if someone's like giving you some nonsense, you're like, no, I've always done this. This is how I've done this. This is what works here.
When the coach tell the throwers, everybody running a mile a day. What?
Yeah. Like, it's a thing. It's like the thing we right now, one of our weaknesses we work with Cork is, hurdling as he should, but it is what it is. We got to make the best of what we got. And so I got specific drills that we're working on. And he told the head middle school coach today because he wanted to do something else. It's like, no, that doesn't help me. Like, that doesn't help my technique. That doesn't help my form. Doesn't help me get faster. I was like, this is what's going to help me to get faster. And he said it in a respectful way. He said, then you let me do what I had to do. He's like, that's the thing. You got to have, that's another thing. You don't just go out here and coach these kids. You got to also give them knowledge so they can help themselves when you're not there.
You're not there. And that's what I love. That's what I always do, man. When I have kids, especially kids that, that I've had for a while, when we going through our training sessions, because my thing is I love to work on the mental. So when I tell you to do something, I never finish a sentence. I always do half of the sentence and I want you to finish it for me. That way, you know why I'm having you do this or why I want you to do this. That way, like you say, when you with another coach, you'll understand like, hold on, we used to do this. Why are we doing this now? You know what I'm saying? And you can ask that coach, in a respectful way, wouldn't it be better if we do it this way? Because this is the way that I've normally done it. And this is the results that I've been getting doing it this way. You know what I'm saying? But I always love to do the mental, but I do the weaknesses first and then we go to the strengths, because the strengths are the strengths, kid, like, I learned from, we did a couple sessions with, Tom Petrinoff. He was a world record holder for javelin. He lived in Central Florida. And he told me, he was like, make sure you work the left side of, if you're a right-handed thrower, work the left side of the body. If you're a left-handed thrower, you work the right side of the body. He said you should be able to throw 50% of what you throw with the right hand with your left hand. You get what I'm saying? And I had never thought that. I was always thinking, boom, boom, boom. He says, no, because you want to have balance in the body as much as you can. So we do some days where we just throw opposite hand. You know what I'm saying? It's unorthodox and the kids look at you like you're crazy, but it balances itself out. And it helps save the other arm too, because you don't want to throw it every day. Something that we always touch on, that people be out here crazy with these kids throwing 100 throws a day. Then the kid don't have no arm by July and you want to beat the kid across the head because you don't spend all this money to travel. And it's not the kid's fault. It's your fault because you destroyed the kid's arm. But oh yeah, I love this hat, man. I'm gonna start rocking the MVP one. But yeah, nah, you definitely you definitely gotta have a system though. You know, if you like to work the strengths and maybe it's not so much of the weakness, that's fine. Maybe that's your system. But me, I like to do the weaknesses and then build in on the strengths. Chime in, coaches, and let us know what y'all like to do, what y'all like to work on.
The strengths are gonna keep strengthening because like that's just like because what is done now at that point is committed to muscle memory, and so it's just gonna continue to get better. And so what you want, like I said, my approach is bringing balance. Is like, hey, let's shore up these weaknesses right now. And like you said, the biggest thing is when you do that. Like I'm telling you, like coaching gets so much easier when you don't just tell kids to do things, when you explain to them why it's
Let
happening
me understand.
and what they're feeling in their body when they do it. Hey, you should be feeling this when you're doing this motion. If you're not feeling this, that means you need to make an adjustment. And so now when I coach kids, I'll be honest with you, that's why I'm so excited. Like I had such success last year with a bunch of new kids. It was like when I like kind of like your technique is like you start saying something and then they finish it. I'm like, before I can even say, hey, do this, hey, they would be like, hey, my arch wasn't quite right there, or hey, I didn't put my knee there.
So
or,
it's clicking.
My leg was down, or whatever it is, they're no. So that's my thing. That's my biggest thing about when I see people yelling at people at track meets. I'm like, if you did your job in practice, you will never have to yell at a kid because they will be so disappointed in themselves. The only thing that you should be doing is trying to bring their positivity and motivation up. That's the only thing. Yeah. You're not gonna fix anything at that moment. You're not doing it because it's too much mental. And actually, I had the softball coach from one of the high schools here. We were having a discussion like this, and they got the brakes beat off of them. And the kids after came up to her and said, "You didn't yell at us enough." And at the practice, she's like, "I said I did my job, and I took notes, and I saw what we needed to work on." I was like, "What in that moment? What would have yelling done for you in that moment? Just make me."
If you need me to yell at you, then we got a problem.
Yeah. What? And she said, "What are you gonna do? Make me look like a crazy person out here yelling at y'all, and we lose it?
Yeah, nah.
That much worse? Nah. So
yeah, nah. When I'm at a track meet, man, I look at it like you've done the work. Now I'm finna sit back and enjoy. I'm in my chair, sitting back. Hopefully, I can find some shade, and I'm just watching the show, man. Just like watching your kids do what they do, because you know what's gonna happen. Like people get to the track meet and act like they shocked. You know what your kid gonna do, unless they just like fall apart, But 9 times out of 10, you know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know what distance they go throw. You know what they go jump. You know what they go run. Like, come on, people be sitting there like, oh my God, what's happening? You knew what was gonna happen. You thought it was magically go turn into Carl Lewis when they got to the track meet? No, that's not how life works.
I'm there for mental and emotional support. That's
it.
You see me at track meets. I'm like, calm down.
Yeah.
Relax. Have fun. Smile. That's my coaching right there. Like, chill. It is what it is.
That's it, man. I'm in the back chilling. Kim be in the back chilling, getting people to join the group. now, Vanna have a big throw, you go hear Kim. But 9 times out of 10, like you just enjoying the atmosphere, the environment, man. Because you know what I'm saying. It like you coaching on the day of the meet, like that was a topic we had a while back, but it don't really do much. It actually, to me, I think it hinders the kid more than it helps them because now you got them thinking too much.
Mm-hmm.
Now you
that too. You're overthinking. Chill out, relax.
Yeah. Yeah, like the girl we just interviewed, Lyric. She was super composed in her interview, by the way, for an 8-year-old. But she was saying when she went to Virginia, she was like nervous and thinking, I can't mess up. I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like these kids, they have enough pressure on themselves already. You don't got to be there to add more pressure to it. Just prepare them during the week, and they'll do what they got to do when they show up at the meet.
Yep.
That's just how I look at it. So this is something I wanted to touch on. For the meet directors out there, I don't know if y'all actually do this, but I think it'll be beneficial if you did. When you get your officials, have a meeting with your officials and talk about time management. Because some officials are timely and some officials don't care because they'll be out there all day because they ain't got nothing else to do. But in a sport where we already struggling for numbers, especially on the men's side, on the male side, because you ask kids, I know for us, we'd be like, why you don't want to run track? It's all day, which is true. You know, your kids play baseball. You can go get 3-4 games in and be done before half the track meet over.
Yeah.
7-on-7, same thing. Basketball, same thing. You know what I'm saying? Some track meets are entirely too long, and it's because, you know what I'm saying, you haven't made that communication. Some meet people don't even come over to, like, especially on the field side, they don't even come out there to the field side to see what's going on.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? So you need to have that communication with your officials before the meet start. Say, look, meet start at this time. By this time, we should be done with this event. By this time, we should be done with this event. By this time, we should be done with this event. Bada bing, bada boom. You know, hiccups happen, things happen along the way. But
yeah, that does turn off a lot of kids and parents. I mean, mostly parents, because they the way you get there is like, I don't have time to dedicate an entire Saturday to this. I've been working all week. It's time for me to get my shine on. I can't be up here messing with y'all all day long. I know Rail Eyes, he makes a bunch of comments to be funny about it. He's joking, but he's also
he's real. He's real.
Like, I was like, I was so glad when, I'll be honest with you, and that was kind of the reason I was so happy that Aubrey quit the 200. I was like, last event, 100 heats, it's dark or cold. I don't want to be out there all day long. But that's the thing. What's that? CJ Jenkins. CJ Jenkins will time and break down a meet from front to back. He's the best when it comes to scheduling.
No, CJ one of the GOATs at that. He need to have a class so he can teach other officials. And if he want to come on here, he can come on here and do it. But nah, when CJ run it, bro, you gonna be in and out, especially on that javelin, man. He run a smooth javelin, Ricky. Smooth javelin.
I respect it. I run a smooth javelin too. You come to any of the meets I'm running, we about it. We not messing around. And the thing is like, I give you, and that's another thing, like, I give you plenty of time to get warmed up and everything, and we be done. We'd be like, yeah. Y'all done already? I was like, what we waiting on? Like, I make an announcement. Get down here. I said, and I have a coaches meeting beforehand. I said, hey, this is the thing. I know, even at developmental meets, but hey, I know it's developmental meet, but I'm trying to get them ready for nationals. When I call, that I need them out here.
Yeah,
you done. I was like, you not here, you're done. I was like,
you're not wrong.
You're not listening. Your kids not listening. They done. And it's not no surprise. Everybody knows hey, educate your parents. So we just had our district meeting talking about the same things, trying to tell the coaches, hey, you meet with your parents, let them know how we running this year. We're doing X, Y, Z. And then it's and you don't deviate from that. You say, okay, we just run these 8 and unders like that. Don't change it. Run them 9s like that. Run them 10s like that. Boom, 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 boom. When people are able to get in and get out, they appreciate that so much more. And then if you're official, I know some of y'all got them sour faces on it, but y'all can flare it up. When I'm out there, I let my personality come through. I'm showcasing babies. I always line up the baby. I don't care if it's a developmental meet. I always line the babies up.
Make it fun.
Make them get a picture for the parents. Show here with their crowd. Take pictures with have them take pictures. We still got all time for that. But it makes just you gotta remember it's youth, and so you gotta find a way to make it speedy and also still have them enjoy it. And while you're trying to educate them at the same time, it ain't just like boom, kick them out of here.
I got you.
You can do both.
I got you. Mike is another one, man. Mike Johnson.
Oh yeah, Mike. He runs it tight.
Man, smooth. You think Mike been officiating 30 years, bro? I think Mike only been officiating a year, maybe 2. Smooth though. Smooth.
He had the transition from jab over the long jump, kept it going, didn't miss a beat. That's what I'm saying. You run it efficient. No matter if you can run one efficient, you can run them all efficient. You just have that mentality. You're gonna do that. And you know what? He talked to the kids. He was very encouraging to the kids when he was down there. He was like, "Hey, man, say, hey, you did this," because it's still developmental. He does a good job. So much respect to Mike Johnson. So
yeah. And when you and people will respect you too more when you talk to them like you got sense. You know what I'm saying? Don't have a sour face. Actually have a smile on your face. I know it's 100 degrees out there sometimes, and it's a long day sometimes. But you got to develop a system. It's like anything else. You got to develop a system. You don't just show up and say, okay, it's Saturday. We got 100 kids competing. Whatever, I'll figure it out. No, like you say, run them 8s the same way you finna run them 9s, 10s, and 11s. And if you got 100 kids, don't combine them all together because you are about to have a chaotic situation. Like people put the 9, 10s, and 11s together and you got 45 kids. Why would you do that to yourself? You know what I'm saying? It's about to be bad. And now you're really going to be hot. And you're going to be behind the 8 ball because it's going to take a lot longer than it could have taken if you just kept them age groups separately.
Yeah, because all they're going to do is they're going to run, them kids going to run their mouths. They're going to get distracted because they are kids. Once again, you got to remember these kids. Sometimes these officials, they treat them like they high school and college kids. And you can't officiate youth kids, middle school and elementary school kids. You officiate high school and college coaches.
Facts, especially early in the year.
Timing companies, this is for you too. Don't go out here bragging and talking about what college meets you've ran. If you've never run a AAU or a USATF meet for youth, you ain't ready yet because that's a whole nother animal. You ain't used to the sheer amount of numbers.
Yep, 1,500, 2,000 kids.
You ain't ready to that. We had a timing company come do one of ours one time, run their mouth like, "Oh, we do this way, we do this one." I'm like, this is what I need you to do right now. I need you to be ready for this. And they got showed up. You wasn't ready for them numbers. Like they had enough staff. They wasn't ready for them kind of numbers.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. You got to make sure you have enough staff, right? Maybe you only budgeted for this amount of officials, whatever. But you see the number that your registration numbers above what you thought they were going to be. You got to bring in some extra people because at the end of the day, what happened?
We got some volunteers or something.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you're in a consumer business, right? And if people are not happy with the product that you're putting out there, they're not going to come back. You want people to come back, you got to put out a good product. It's just that simple. You put out a good product, people go keep coming back to your meets. You don't put out a good product, because there's some meets we will never go back to. Like, I don't say nothing to people, I don't say nothing publicly, but they won't see us. You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
Like, shoot, like we've only done 3 meets this year, because there's some meets that we have on our schedule. They be like, y'all, nope, I'm not. I come, help the kids, coach them up real fast, and I'm out of there, because I'm not trying to be there to 10, 11 o'clock at night. I got other stuff to do with my time, and sitting at a track meet for 12, 13 hours is not it.
Yeah, there's a couple meets that we run around here. I'm like, my head coach be like, hey, I was like, nah, man. No, like you need to take that out of the schedule. I'm not going there. That's how and I'll tell the kids specifically that I'm coaching for my events and stuff. I was like, hey, like I can't go there. I'm not supporting that meet. It's bad, whatever. And that's the other thing for conditions. I know track meets are hard to find, but there's this meet, and I can call out, but they have a bad surface and everything, and it's really bad for kids' knees and their backs and stuff. It's not taken care of. I'm like kids who are, I know people like use elite. I'm gonna say anyway, kids who are elite and upper echelon. I was like, they pounding way too hard to be on that terrible track. I said, you gonna mess them for a long run. I was like, you don't need to be out there. So
they better watch that Bo Jackson tape when he got tackled, tore his hip up, man.
Yeah.
But like I say, my favorite saying, you can't treat a Ferrari like a Corolla. So you gotta be mindful of that. But yeah, some of these meets they just take entirely too long. And touching on our last topic, Overbearing and rude parents can ruin opportunities and the development of the youth athletes. So we'll let you take the lead on that. Then I'll close it out.
That came from me on that one, because I posted something talking about like there's a parent that like literally this kid, I could do so much for them, but their mom is just too much, man. I mean, just raises all kind of heck all the time. I was like, you know what? And like I saw her from a distance. I was like, that's a girl I could get going for the multis. And I was getting ready to get in there, and then I had one of our admin give me and said, "Oh, I have to deal with Miss blah blah blah," and she just I was like, and I said, and looking, I'm like, I started getting a coach face. I was like, nah, you ain't.
Nah,
And
it ain't worth it, man.
I could fix her so easily if I had the time, but like I don't want to get yelled at. I'm too old for that. I don't want to go through them struggles and stuff like that.
It's not worth it, man. Like you're not even getting paid for this.
No, I'm here for the goodness of my heart, and I'm like, you up here you yelling so much, I can see the spit coming out your mouth, hitting that man's face like that. It's like I don't want to get germs on me like that.
You gonna have Courtney out there catching the charge, man.
Yeah. So it's so be careful. Just parents, coaches, just be careful. You can ruin a good situation for your kid. I've built some relationships with some of the high schools, coaches for different sports around here: baseball, softball, track. Obviously, we are a big school or a big school district, so you just get to know people,
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard so many coaches cut kids just because their parents are too much to deal with. They're like, I don't want to deal with the parent. Cutting kids has nothing to do with their ability. You've taken something away from that kid because you too much. I don't blame. I'm not dealing with it, and I don't get paid. And then hearing them say it, and they get
paid. No, sir. And you even got to be careful, parents, what you put on your social media, because coaches look at that too.
Yeah.
Especially on the recruiting end, they looking at that kind of stuff. But yeah, now you got to chill out. You got to definitely chill out in your attitude, especially when you got somebody trying to help your kid, man. When you got somebody out there like legit trying to help your kid, genuinely cares about your kid and your kid improving, and you still got an attitude, that's a problem. That's a huge problem. Even if you paying the coach, like attitude is not warranted. If you don't like the coach doing, just go find another coach. But yeah, you definitely gonna ruin the sport for your kid, because ain't nobody gonna want to deal with them, and eventually the kid gonna be tired of bouncing from place to place. But you're gonna ruin a lot of opportunities for the kid too, because coaches and programs don't want that headache.
No, they don't. And what Terrence said, the parents need to realize they get a reputation for that behavior. They also limit their kids' future opportunities, because if coaches know you are a loudmouth, they will cut the kid just because. Don't want the headache. Exactly.
Yeah, and coaches talk.
Yeah.
Even if we're in different programs, they talk.
Mm-hmm. And I will tell you this: your behavior rubs off on those kids. But once again, what we say all the time, regardless of what your kids may say, at the end of the day, you are the person they look up to. You are their hero. To them, regardless if they want to say it or not, they lying. They capping. What the kids say, they capping. They look up to you. And so if they see you carrying your way and they feel like you're successful, they're going to mimic that behavior. And so we got another girl on. I'm not going to say talk about what it is, but the coach literally says like she had an attitude about a situation, and she had an opportunity to move from JV to varsity, but she said the wrong thing. It wasn't. I was like, you better than me, because she wouldn't even be on the team. But
yeah,
she gave the kid an opportunity to get some varsity reps, and wasn't appreciative of the opportunity. And like, this is all you got me for? Instead of like embracing that and doing the best you can at that
with the time that you're given. Yeah.
Those opportunities don't come. Coaches ain't just giving those out willy-nilly. You had an opportunity to play in a varsity game instead of just cheering. They put you in. It's like, oh, that's all you got me doing. Like what? That was a time. That was a test to prove yourself. And now you're relegated, and now you're not getting reps now. Dumb.
But that goes back probably to, like you say, the home. They're saying the mom probably was like, or the dad probably was like, when you get in the game, you go do XYZ. My baby is this, my baby is that. They better put my baby in that game. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a parent, you can't be like that. If you don't like the situation, just leave. But causing problems, because like you said, I'm gonna kick you off the team because it's a cancer, and I don't need that cancer spreading to the other players, and I don't need cancerous parents spreading to the other parents, because you already know how parents are. They get in them group chats and they start spewing that foolishness and that evilness, and then the other parents who were good, they start thinking, "You're right." What is like, bro? Before you know it, you have a whole toxic. Got to give it to everybody.
Yeah. Everybody go.
Everybody leave. We go unattached. Because it's not worth it, man. Like, you here trying to help these kids get to the next level. Ain't none of us out here making no $1 million. We all got real jobs. We all take time off our real jobs to travel to help these kids get to the next level. So we don't need no extra stress and extra headache that we already got from the real world that we trying to escape coaching these kids. You know what I'm saying? That's our outlet.
Yeah. Oh, and real quick, and that's a good thing that you bring up. So I just want, once again, shout out to all y'all coaches, because a lot of people don't understand what y'all doing out here. I actually had a parent say something to me, say, hey, because I was out coaching with our softball team, and a parent told me what he told his daughter. It was like, you see Coach Ricky out there? I was like, you see him, right? Where's his daughter at? She ain't here. But he's still out here coaching you, trying to get you better. His kid ain't here. He ain't got to be here, but he's here because he cares about you. Man, that made me feel so good, man. And that's the thing. That's what people don't realize. Like for regionals, my kids ain't going to regionals this year for track.
Yeah.
I got kids I'm coaching that's there.
You still go be there.
That's an expense I'm taking. Anybody putting that bill, I'm putting that bill to get there, to go out of state and make sure those kids got the support that they need. So,
see, I need to come to Miami, man. Our regional and district is 20 minutes from the house.
I'm like 4 hours, 6 hours.
Nah, man, it's at the same spot at Anson and Miramar. But nah, like Mike said, parents that are never satisfied grinds my gears. Yeah, you have a lot of parents like that, unfortunately, man. Like, no matter what the kids do, they never satisfied.
Nope.
Like, kid to go out there and win a gold medal and they ain't hit the time or the distance that the parent want, the parent hot. It don't make sense, man.
What Prince say? Maybe I'm just like my father or my mother. She's never satisfied. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but nah, like these coaches, man, like you say, salute to the ones that's really doing it for the right reasons. Because like most coaches, like, I'm pretty sure you're the same way. You always looking for a way to improve your kids that you coaching.
Yeah.
You taking time away from your schedule, from your family, from your kids, researching, looking through stuff, trying to find ways to improve and get these kids to where they need to be. And nobody is, you know what I'm saying? Nobody is stopping to pat you on the shoulder and say, great job, Coach Ricky, we appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? So parents out there, every once in a while, you ain't got to even give no money or nothing, but just walk by and just tell your coach, thank you. I appreciate what you do for my kid. You know what I'm saying? That goes a long way. It goes a long way.
Yeah, it makes it helps me wake up in the morning. Like, why am I doing this? Like some days when you feel like, why am I doing this? That's why I'm doing it right there.
Yeah.
You may save our coach from quitting on you because he's like, I'm fed up with this. And like, that one baby come over there and make your day. That one baby will come over and was like, just thank you so much. And it's like, all right, I can. And then you went from like, I don't know, I hate this to like, I don't see why we ever do anything else.
That's facts. So parents, check the attitudes at the gate or the door. I know like most parks have that sign, like it says, there are no scholarships being given out today. They got to change it now. No NIL deal, whatever. But they have those signs up. You know what I'm saying? Like, these kids are kids. You know what I'm saying? So treat the kids as such and treat the coaches as such as well. And you know what I'm saying? Appreciate you, my brother. Enjoy your weekend off this weekend. We actually off this weekend too. We chilling. So I don't know what we're gonna do this weekend. We're gonna have to do something fun. But enjoy it, man, and see you next week, my brother.
Yeah, man. Yeah, God bless everybody. We'll see y'all next one.
Peace.